I'm not going to ask you about it, but I will say this. How bored are you of hearing people asking if you can go back to Q school?
Yeah, it's the same question all the time.
Yeah.
Well, see when January comes, I think was
Two-time world champion, 5 televised 9-darters, the most effortless throw the sport has ever seen. And then, in April 2023, Adrian Lewis simply walked away. No fanfare, no final match at Alexandra's Palace. Just a tweet thanking his fans and disappearing from the PDC circuit. For over 2 years, one of darts' most naturally gifted players has been absent from the stage where he once ruled. So where is Adrian Lewis? And more importantly, is Jackpot ever coming back? The story starts in Stoke-on-Trent in 2004, when the 19-year-old Adrian Lewis turned professional under the wing of Phil Taylor himself. Picture this, the greatest player in history taking a local kid under his guidance, training together 30 hours a week. Lewis wasn't just any prospect though, he had something different, a throw so smooth, so natural, that fellow professionals would stop and watch. In 2005, he won $75,000 hitting the jackpot on a Las Vegas slot machine, but couldn't collect because he was underage. The nickname stuck. By 2006, his first World Championship appearance ended in the quarterfinals. His talent was undeniable, but no one could predict just how quickly he'd reach the summit. In 2008, he made his first major final at the European Championship, losing to his mentor Taylor. 2 years later at the World Grand Prix, he actually beat Taylor in the semi-finals before falling to James Wade in the final. The student was learning fast. Then came 2011 and everything changed. At Alexandra Palace, Lewis tore through the draw with a tournament average above 100. In the final against Gary Anderson, he did something nobody had ever done before. He threw a perfect 9-dart finish on the World Championship stage in the final on his way to becoming world champion. The crowd erupted. Lewis won 7-5 and collected $200,000 plus an extra $10,000 for the 9-darter, but he wasn't finished. 12 months later, he defended his title, demolishing Andy Hamilton 7-3 in the final. At just 26 years old, Adrian Lewis became the youngest double world champion in PDC history and only the second player after Phil Taylor to defend the title. The darts world had a new superstar, and it felt like this was just the beginning of a decade-long reign. Between 2011 and 2016, Adrian Lewis was box office. He threw a second televised 9-darter at the 2011 European Championship against Raymond van Barneveld, then another at the 2014 World Championship. Then 2 more in the Premier League in 2016 and 2017. 5 perfect legs on television, each one thrown with almost casual ease, like he was bored of scoring 60s. In 2013, he won the European Championship in Germany, his first major outside of the Worlds. In 2014, he produced perhaps the most devastating performance in UK Open history, destroying Terry Jenkins 11-1 in the final with an average of 109.13. That remains the highest average ever recorded in a UK Open final, bettered only by Taylor and Van Gerwen in other major finals. He also won 4 World Cups alongside Phil Taylor between 2012 and 2016. The records kept piling up. His 180 per leg ratio was extraordinary. He held multiple records for maximum scoring. Everything looked effortless. Darts had never seen anyone quite like him, but the decline started quietly. After reaching the 2016 World Championship final and averaging over 101 for the entire tournament, Lewis lost 7-5 to Gary Anderson. It should have been a springboard, but it became a peak he'd never reach again. In 2017, things unraveled. He began suffering severe back problems, eventually requiring surgery to repair a muscle that had penetrated through to his spine. He was getting 40 minutes of sleep per night from the pain. The operation should have helped, but when he returned, the magic was gone. At the 2018 World Championship, he lost in the first round to Germany's Kevin Munch, one of the biggest upsets in years. His ranking plummeted from 7th to 21st. Then came an incident at a UK Open qualifier where he got physical with opponent Jose Justicia after feeling provoked, earning a temporary suspension. The mental toll was visible. The player who once made everything look easy was now grinding through matches, visibly frustrated, unable to recapture his best form. What few people knew was what was happening away from the Oche. In 2016, Adrian revealed his wife Sarah had been battling serious kidney problems, spending months in and out of hospital. He described it as playing through heartache. juggling full-time childcare for their 6 children while trying to maintain his professional career. Sarah's condition was later confirmed as an incurable kidney disease, requiring ongoing hospital visits, treatments, and constant care. Lewis kept competing, but his mind wasn't fully on the darts. He'd have the occasional flash of brilliance, like reaching the quarterfinals of the 2020 World Match Play or defeating Michael van Gerwen for the first time in 3 years. In July 2022, he won Players' Championship 20, his first title in over 3 years, and the darts world wondered if he was finally turning the corner. Then he lost in the first round of the World Match Play to Van Gerwen. The comeback never fully materialized. His ranking continued to slide, and by early 2023, Adrian Lewis had had enough. On April 22, 2023, he posted a message on social media. "After 20 plus years, I feel I need a break from the professional circuit for now." He thanked his fans, sponsors, the PDC, and most importantly, his family. His last competitive match had been a 4-6 loss to Cameron Crabtree at a Players' Championship in March. No farewell tour, no final bow at the Worlds. He just stopped. In interviews later that year, he opened up about why. Sarah's health had worsened. His mind wasn't on the darts. He didn't want to keep taking spots in tournaments when his heart wasn't in it. He'd rather step aside than become a journeyman going through the motions. For the next 18 months, Lewis stayed active on the exhibition circuit, playing relaxed matches against old rivals, smiling, throwing effortless 180s, and reminding everyone of the talent that never left. But competitive darts, he was done. By July 2024, he'd officially dropped out of the top 64 for the first time in nearly 2 decades, meaning his tour card would expire at the end of the year. Then came the surprise. In July 2024, Lewis announced he'd signed with Modus Sports Management and planned to return in 2025 via the Modus Super Series. In a video message, he said he felt refreshed and re-energized. He wasn't rushing back to Q school, but he wasn't ruling it out either. Darts fans were stunned. In August 2025, Lewis made his competitive comeback at the Modus International Pairs in Portsmouth, partnering with Steve Beaton. It wasn't a fairy tale. They didn't advance from the group stage, but there were moments. The smooth throw was still there. The 180s came easily. He and Beaton averaged 90 over 2 nights in a pairs format, which was respectable. More importantly, Lewis looked happy. He smiled, joked with the crowd, and seemed at peace. In October, he revealed he'd been practicing 3 to 4 hours a day and would decide his future in January 2026. He told reporters he'd only return to the PDC if his mind was fully committed and he felt he could compete at the highest level. Barry Hearn made it clear, no special treatment, Lewis would have to go through Q school like everyone else. So where is Adrian Lewis now? He's 40 years old, spending time with his family, supporting Sarah through her health battles, and slowly rediscovering his love for darts without the crushing pressure of the PDC Tour. He's training daily, playing Modus events, and genuinely considering whether he wants one more run at the top. The talent never left. Ask any player and they'll tell you Lewis at his best could compete with Luke Littler, Luke Humphries, and Michael van Gerwen tomorrow. The question isn't ability, it's hunger. Can he find that drive again after 2 years away? Does he even want to? And if he does go through Q school and earn his tour card back, can he handle the grueling schedule, the pressure, and the mental battles while still being present for his family? Adrian Lewis may return to the PDC, or he may not. Either way, his legacy is secure. 2 world championships, 5 televised 9-darters, 8 major titles, and a throw that will be remembered as one of the most beautiful in darts history. For now, Jackpot is taking his time, rolling the dice, and waiting to see if the stars align one more time.